Little peepers. Little bitty peepers. I love the little birdies. Little birdies. Little birdies, please. Gotta check out the new stuff Yachty just dropped. Oh, okay. I'll check it out. I shall check it out. I'm not the world's biggest Yachty fan, but I will look. I will listen. Hash must be like back. I get asked about Hash like every fucking show now. It must be back. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to turn on the skibbity deflector. I'll leave it off for a little while this morning. We'll see what happens. I do like that about Yachty. I do like that he is committed to changing up his sound, trying new things. I like that. Oh man, I think the skibbity filter has to be on. I think it just does. If it isn't, they're just too. They're too fucking much. All right, 1 minute skibbity filter on, and watch how fucking easy it becomes. It becomes light, breezy, and easy. Things were just so easy living here with you. Things were light and breezy, and I knew just what to do. Now you're so unhappy, and I feel like a fool. Bum, 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 bum. The 1 minute skibbity filter works because most skibbities don't have the attention span to sit and wait for a whole minute to type Hagrid or whatever. It's wonderful. I summon Paul. I choose Paul. The skibbity filter. I hate hearing other people's business. I'm tired of it. I want to go to a place that doesn't have the constant hum of construction equipment and cars, constant roar of lawnmowers and bullshit. In other words, I need to get the fuck out of Suburbia now. I need to get all the way the fuck out. Are you at your new place yet? No. No, 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 no. Is there a religious filter we can get? I could just go in and ban all permutations of the word Jesus Christ. That would do it, right? Just like, you know, the N word is just unsayable in here. You can't say it. You can try, but every different way that you think about to try and spell that word, it just doesn't work in here. It won't work. I could do the same thing for the name of everyone's Lord and Savior. I'm sure you can't wait for onion nuggets tomorrow. It'll be nice. Yeah. I've had a whole week, so. I've had a whole week. And TJ, you know, is in agreement with me that, like, after this electoral cycle, we need to fucking figure out something other to do than follow the fucking electoral cycle, or follow the electoral cycle. I used to call it the news cycle, but it's not anymore. Now it's just the electoral cycle. What do you regret not doing in your life? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing, man. Regret is a worthless emotion. It really is. It's a worthless feeling. It confers no wisdom upon a person, especially the farther you get from an incident, right? Living in the shadow of regret is a silly thing to do. I wouldn't do it. Couldn't be me. Everything I've done, every foible I've made, every mistake, every bad decision has led me to the current moment. And in the current moment, I am at peace and happy with who I am and where I am and what I am. Even if it's worthless doesn't mean that you don't feel it. Yeah. But that's the, like, you're talking about, how do I contextualize this feeling? Right? I have regret. I regret that I didn't do this. I regret that I didn't do that. I regret that I said this or said that. It's a great and rare thing to have. You can have it too. Everybody can have it. It's there to be grabbed. I'm not in possession of some special thing that you can't have. Your moment is there. It's there now. It's a matter of training your mind to think about it, right? Chances are, if you're sitting and watching me, the background radiation of your mind is stuff like, oh, I've got shit I have to do. I should have done that. Oh, work is going to suck. This, you know, like, you've got this, like, cross chatter of thoughts that pass through your mind, right? Learning how to allow those thoughts to come and go without leaving a big mar on your edifice is part of what I'm talking about, right? You can do that. Everybody has that. Everybody has the ability to have that, right? To retool your thinking, right? I have to go get a sweater, and that feels great. I like that. It's cold. A wake up and a shake up. Now you ready to wake up? Wasn't you ready when Dad got up? But now you ready to wake up. Ready to get your day started. Here you go, I'm getting tired of the news. Hope you don't completely cut it out. It's the big stuff that's the problem. I will tell you right now, dude, I don't have a single fucking thing to say about politics that you haven't heard me say 15 times if you've been watching me for a year. Right? I don't have a single new thing to say. So it's covering the big stuff that is the problem. Covering the stuff that everybody else is covering the non-evolving news situation is the problem, bro. That is the source of the negativity. And I refuse. I would admit I'm a hopeless news degenerate that can't get enough, but not so much that I want you guys to hate what you cover. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody has been excited to cover the news in a couple of years. And, I don't want to put words in the other guy's mouths, but I have a feeling that, like, maybe a couple of times it was fun to jump into the news, but most of the time it's just watching things get worse in the same way and repeating the same shit that you've said a million times. And I just don't find that fun. I don't mind repeating myself. There's a certain amount of it that I can take. How do you think those talk show hosts constantly talk about Trump? Well, yeah, I don't know. They get paid. They get paid a lot of money to sit and say the same shit about Trump every fucking 5 seconds. Talk about this, Republican primary of an electoral cycle. I saw a Reddit comment somewhere, and I was like, dude, that's got to be the comment of the year. They were like, this electoral cycle is basically a Republican primary. You have two Republicans and one Republican is currently doing better than the other Republican. It's a Republican primary. It's like, oh yeah. I just want Trump to be sent into some abyss of misery, but he won't. Man, you gotta let that shit go. Let's talk about something for a second. The left, and broadly the liberal left, right, has got a case of TDS that is fucking unbelievable, bro. I understand. The guy's a piece of shit. I don't deny that. But you guys are acting like the motherfucker is Thanos or something. It's absurd. It's absurd. We've been through 4 years of Trump. We know what he governs like. It's not a secret, right? Everybody in here that remembers Trump's presidency survived the Trump presidency, all right? This idea that democracy is about to end, that there's gonna be camps, it's fucking wild. The fucking, the amount of TDS is absolutely over the top insane. I swear to God that the liberals forget that Trump was already the president. I know. They forget everything. They forget how he became president too, because they're doing it again. Foisting a candidate that nobody wanted on to the public, and then just kicking back and cruising and attacking and like punching left. Right? The last time that we did that against Trump, he won. So why would we continue to do that? Glad you liked it, Ghoul. Pretty much everybody that I've told about that movie has said that it absolutely is one of the best movies that they've seen.
Ow. Now I feel like our front sprinklers aren't turning on. So our back sprinklers are on, but our fronts aren't.
Don't be barking. You chill out. He's not saying anything he didn't say last time. The same people around him. However, now Dick Cheney is on the Democrat side. I know. Well, okay, here's the thing. The perception of life was better. People who are old enough to have lived through Trump, and this is just the truth, you have to decouple your expectations. Most people are not politically minded. And so here's what they think. Food was cheaper under Trump. Gas was cheaper under Trump. Israel wasn't going fucking insane under Trump. Fucking Ukraine wasn't going insane under Trump. As reductive and limiting as that perspective is, you have to contend with it if you're a liberal. And that's why, I think Trump's got the edge. That's why I think Trump's probably going to walk with the election this time. I think people overestimate the political acumen of most people in this country. Most people in this country don't know a fucking thing about what's going on. They don't pay attention to it until it's time to pay attention to it. They make snap judgments. These are called low information voters, single issue voters, right? They make snap judgments on who they're voting for. And one of the main metrics that drives their voting is, were things better before? And when you look at a family, it's hard to make an argument for them that things are better now under Biden than they were under Trump, when you're paying twice as much for milk, twice as much for cheese, half again as much for gas, right? All of that stuff, the pocketbook is something that liberals just never fucking learn. They never learn. They never learn it. And so they endlessly lose to populist right-wing movements. Well, gas prices are a metric, right, for inflation. And yes, there are people vote their pocketbook extensively in this country. A lot of people do not watch the news. They go out and vote when it's time to vote, and they make that decision based on who they think is going to put more money in their hand. All of this social issue shit that's draped over the top, all of the geopolitics and stuff, you can care about that stuff as much as you want. And I don't blame you. It's important stuff. But thinking that American people are motivated by those things positively is asking yourself to lose an election. And that's what we're seeing happen. We're watching, and it's literally the same playbook with the same players. Hillary Clinton is managing this campaign. Hillary Clinton is an advisor on this campaign. The woman that dropped the strap hilariously to Trump. The unelectable woman that dropped the strap in 2016 to Trump is running this campaign through the DNC. Yeah. You think that might end up being a bad choice? Yep. She snuggled up right. Instead of doing the obvious, establishing a left-wing alternative to Trumpism, she snuggled up to it. Their whole kind of idea this electoral cycle was, fuck the left. Let's get these disaffected, the libs are going to come along no matter what. We could just literally put swastikas on and they'd come with us. So we got them. Let's go after these temporarily disaffected Trump people. Let's go after these people that just don't feel right voting Trump. How do we shore up their support? Let's get some right-wing endorsements flowing. Let's start talking about how I'm definitely putting Republicans in my candidate. Let's tighten up our border talk. Let's start talking like Republicans on the border. Let's start talking like Republicans on Israel. Let's start talking like Republicans on the economy. What do you think happens? "740 neocons endorse Kamala from the Reagan and Bush eras because she is a Reagan-era Republican." In fact, some of her positions are well to the right of Ronald Reagan. The biggest standout is her immigration position. Ronald Reagan naturalized over 1 million quote-unquote illegal immigrants. Dude, if a liberal did that, it would be heralded as the fucking biggest thing that's happened since FDR. If a liberal managed to naturalize 1 million people who were living here illegally as American citizens, can you imagine that coming out of either party now? That was Ronnie Reagan. Good old Ronnie Reagan. Of course, Ronald Reagan also gutted workers' rights, gutted the unions, presided over the hugest transfer of wealth from the average person to the top 1% of wage earners in American history. Basically a robber baron president. And now your left-wing option is to the right of him on a lot of issues. Is it time for you to decide to do something other than run around and argue about voting? Is it time for you, as a person who has ostensibly left views, to maybe think about doing something else? That's the question that looms over all of my coverage.
Well, and then, yeah, just please try to remember to let me know when the thing is, because I'm gonna have to ask, I'm gonna have to see if I.
Different counties would be pissed. I can't even read that, Smeesh. That you're fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, my mom and dad are.
You gotta watch the fucking typos, bro, because that made no sense. I was talking about this on stream the other day. What I said is basically the Democrats have lost most of the country. The left wing doesn't trust them because they're too far to the right, and the right doesn't trust them because it's clear they don't have principles. Yeah. Yeah, the liberals are like, there's a real problem on the left wing, the quote unquote left wing of American politics. The race to the right has found us with two parties that are so indistinguishable. Think about it, dude. Like the main issues this campaign, if you listen to the two candidates, are him bad, no, her bad. It's literally, there's no like, here's what I'll do for you. Here is what a vote for me will do for you. There's none of that. It's all, you have to vote for me because if you don't, he'll win. Orange Man. And then Orange Man is like, I know I suck, but you gotta vote for me because if you don't, she'll win. Black woman. And it's... Has any president been demonized like Trump, Paul? No. No. No, it's Trump. I think the Trump presidency was the first modern internet presidency. I think that, Barack Obama skated in right before the social media firestorm took shape in the way that it is now. The giant social media hurricane was just a tropical storm, I think the Trump administration was the first proper social media administration. And I think from here on out, it's going to be, and I actually think this is positive. The amount of lampooning and, just insulting that happens of political candidates is at an all-time high. Like, there's always been a rich American tradition of parody and dissent, expressing your dissent through humor and all of that stuff. But it's over the top now. And I think it really, underscores an electorate that knows, even the ones, I have this theory, man. Even the people that are just heavily invested in arguing for the duopoly and arguing for one side or the other, I think down deep, they know it's bullshit. They're holding on because for them, the one thread of stability and hope is electoralism. They've still got that flag-waving red, white, and blue, proud to be an American streak running through them, and they're holding on for dear life to the idea that they will be listened to at the polls, that their will be done by some politician somewhere, right? They're just holding on desperately, but I think deep down they know. They know it's bullshit. If you've been listening, Smeesh, you should know the answer to that question. Are you for Kamala or Trump? I really want you to think real hard. What do you think I'm going to say? Keep in mind, too, and I know it's tough, that you've presented a false binary. Are you this or that? Okay? Keep that in mind and answer your own question. All right, Paul, I got one for you here to quote. Short version is Americans don't get a true election, we get a selection. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. There are so many barriers between your vote and a candidate that you may or may want, right? That it's hard to make the argument. Yeah, get chili side dish out of here, please. Thank you. Community organizing, mutual aid, direct action, worker co-ops. That's what's going to make them listen to us. I don't know that it'll make them listen to us. It'll make them acquiesce. Wow. Mukhandbir Singh has imposed his false binary on me because that makes his mind feel better. It makes him feel better to say it's obvious you're voting for Kamala Harris. If you were listening and had the media literacy to parse anything that I was saying, you would know the answer to this question and you would know that that's incorrect. You asked him a question above my pay grade. I am not a smart enough guy to redesign human governance. It's just not me. Paul, the unionist hippie, shockingly isn't voting for the genocide perpetrating cop. I know. Isn't it wild? Isn't it mind-blowing? Don't you just desperately want to talk him out of it? To really, like, try and convince him to vote for the fucking cop? The genocider in chief? Don't you think it would be a good use of your time? Ghetto bird. There goes the ghetto bird. Dinor, you come here. Come on. It's enough for you. Hey. There you go. See? You have a sniff with your friend. You have a sniff, and that's enough. See, now you've met. You met your friend. No. Be nice to your friend. See? Sniff. You guys got a little nose touch. You know, he's not your enemy. He's your little friend. See? See? See, he likes you too. He likes you too. D. Be nice. See? You guys could be friends. You guys could be friends. You sit. You stay. See? He's excited to meet you too. That's your little friend. Yes. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to protect the backyard from him. He doesn't want your backyard. He has his own. Gotta broker a peace treaty between two dogs. Trying to convince my little monster that he doesn't have to worry so much. You got it, D. Everything fine. Everything fine. Everything just fine. Hey, baby.
Hello, Dino.
Wow. Instant good morning lap visit. I took you for someone else. You seem like a reasonably intelligent dude. I'm just calling it like I see it. I agree with much of what you said, but voting for Trump, really? Bro, is this a troll? I told you to really focus on the fact that you're presenting a false binary when you ask the question. And your presumption that I didn't jump through, do a backflip when you said you're a Kamala voter, right, is that I'm a Trump voter. Do you think that there are some other options in there? Dino got himself a little nose to nose with the neighbor dog here. Yeah.
Is gonna chill now.
Through the fence. There was a proper introduction, and things were chill. Dino didn't go ape shit. So maybe a friend was made. That would be ideal if a friend could be made. Because every time. One point for Dinor. Yes. Dinor, you get 1 gold star today. Already. Already made a good decision instead of a bad decision. That's good. All hail Paul, the bringer of peace between ferocious beasts with waggly tails. Yes.
I wish he had enough object permanence to actually like little stars.
Yeah. It's like, you can give me treats that are shaped like stars. I'll eat a cookie like a star.
Did your teachers when you were a kid do the little star boards?
Mm-hmm. I think my parents even had one for a little while in the 80s. Yeah. Where it's like we did our chores without bitching about it. We got a star. If we were nice to our sibling and we were observed being nice, we got a star, you know. We did as we were told, we got a star. I don't remember what the goal was of it. It didn't hang around for long, so maybe it didn't work very well on us.
Sometimes a star is just a star.
Yeah. I don't remember it being a big thing. I know that my sister does things like that.
Yeah.
It's not stars, but like they have like
A board or something.
yeah, or like a little point system where it's like you get stuff and, you know, I mean, in that situation, they will almost have to. So many fucking kids. It's like,
Track of them all.
yeah, it's so weird, like watching that whole crew.
Yeah.
Because it's like the older ones are really like little surrogate parents in the group. They just have to be. There's so many little ones. It's like there's not enough eyes to be on all of them. And so they just kind of naturally turn into like assistant parents as they age up.
Yeah, like the oldest boy was like breaking up fights that one time we were over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They know. They'll just step right, like the eldest ones will just step right in and be like, you go to your room. I like it because I get to be cool Uncle Paul. I never have to correct anything. Oh, there. Okay. Camera's back. What was that? Who knows?
Can you all have some of your Cheetos? Are you gonna eat them then? Or can you
Does going to space, possibly colonize it, matter for us humans in the big picture, Paul? I just don't think it's within our reach. I think like we've like if our civilization had continued its upward trajectory for space exploration through the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and early 2000s, and now we were sitting in the 2020s with all of that, I'd go, yeah. I think we'd be functionally close to that now had the, you know, the kind of investment trajectory and the, you know, the willingness to continue to put a ton of our national interest into space exploration and colonization and exploitation. I think we'd be living in a whole different fucking world as far as that goes.
It's just been on the back burner so fucking long.
Yeah. It's been backburnered, and now it's starting to show signs that it's going to become a thing. I was watching some Chinese propaganda the other day. Legit. Like the type of social media stuff that they release. And by the way, the word propaganda doesn't necessarily mean incorrect. It just means this is presented by a state entity to bolster that entity's trustworthiness in the eyes of the public.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lens.
Yeah, right. It's a nationalistic lens thrown in front of everything. It doesn't necessarily make the output of propaganda untrue all the time. But that being said, setting that aside, these are pieces of propaganda that they're making for Westerners. To say, like, there was one that I watched, right? It's this Chinese woman, and she's young, and it says, you know, the problem that I have, she said something like, you know, truncating it. The problem I have with the West is that they say capitalism is the fairest system. And it's a system in which you profit off of the misery of others. In China, we don't look at individualistic achievement as the highest goal. We want everyone to be rich. We want the society itself to be rich. And that's why I am proud to be Chinese. And then she said, don't say capitalism in front of me. Vulgar. That was the whole thing. Right? And I get it. Like, it's obvious communist Chinese propaganda. But that is the mindset of the Chinese people. It illustrates the difference between the way we think in terms culturally.
Yeah.
We lionize and venerate individual achievement. And they don't. They actually suppress it. And in favor of focusing their society and their philosophy on the state and the people as a whole and the country as a whole. I'm not sure what that aggression was innate of. I can't
I know
remember.
you're talking about space travel, and then you mentioned-
Well, okay, that. Thank you for putting me back on track. Part of that little group of videos I watched was China is at the, like, they were talking about, like, look at these Chinese cities, look at our space program.
Mhm.
So I think that, like, that was the point. I think the space race is heating up again at the very front edge.
Mhm.
I think that it's starting to become important again for us to try. But whether, like, that has to hold out for us to get to Mars on a semi-permanent
Mhm.
colony there or something.
Yeah, it can't just be like a little burst of energy.
Right. It can't just be, oh, we're going to get to the moon again, and then maybe we'll put, like, a research base there that we can shuttle. Like, that would be a huge leap. But it still doesn't get us off the planet. It still doesn't get us a permanent colony on a foreign planet.
Yeah. It would have to be sustained effort for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, like I said, if we had kept the momentum going through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, into the 2020s, I think we'd already have a functional moon base. We might even have the beginnings of a manufactory in space where we can start assembling spaceships up there so that we don't have to use the ridiculous fuel to get them up there. I think we'd have that. And we would be well on our way to looking at a semi-permanent colony on the moon or maybe even Mars. Had that level of interest and investment and scientific advancement continued through all those decades. But it basically functionally went on pause.
It's like, oh, Cold War's over.
Yep. Oh, Russia just, like, basically fucking completely and utterly collapsed. And China is completely marginalized and starving. We're good. No more money needed. Well, now those countries, China has gotten its shit together. Russia has gotten its shit together. And now those countries are starting to invest in satellites and space travel and getting to the moon. We can do it in 10 years. I think that's very, like, you're talking about a colony on Mars in 10 years.
That would require not only a massive ramp up in interest, but collaboration too.
Yeah.
And
we couldn't even, like, it would take us 10 years to break ground.
Yeah.
Not like, and that's assuming everything goes to plan, which with space shit and frontier shit, it often does not. So yeah, dude, I think that's way optimistic. Way optimistic.
Like I said, that would require like every nation working together in tandem.
It would require
towards a common goal.
either that or one nation creating the singularity.
Yeah.
One nation creates a god AI, basically, that can just step in and replace the need for human calculation and experimentation and give us a quantum leap forward in technological complexity.
Yeah, be able to do perfect simulations to
Yep.
see what works and what doesn't.
Yep. I mean, I'm telling you, like, if we wanted to be a spacefaring civilization with colonies on other planets in our solar system, and then, theoretically down the road, interstellar travelers, right? One of the first things, and I love talking about this because it's so neat, one of the first things that has to happen is we have to escape the gravity of Earth when it comes to space exploration. The fact that we have to strap ourselves to what is ostensibly a giant bomb and cross our fingers and hope it doesn't blow up in midair, right? Just to get shit into space limits the amount of things that we can do in space. So we need a permanent space colony in orbit around the Earth that could be modular, like modular, like the international, like the ISS is, right? But the ISS is not what I'm talking about. We need to build something big enough to where we can simulate gravity on it by using a rotating ring, right?
Because the space station, if you look at it, it's kind of tiny.
Oh, I mean, it's huge in terms of it being I mean, it's a giant. It's like 7 football fields.
But like square footage wise,
Right.
it's like a house.
But
a
it's
single
little
house.
tunnels with tiny little compartments, all kind of melded together in this big mishmash of functional shit. It is not a place where we could set up a permanent colony where we're constantly cycling astronauts and people into it to live for a couple of years, come back down. Like that is necessary, because one of the modules that you can imagine adding to such a space station is a foundry, a place where at first the raw materials and parts for rocketry and space travel could be brought up on these kind of conventional rockets, delivered to these manufactories, and then these manufactories could assemble these space vehicles in space. So you wouldn't have to have a space vehicle, like if you wanted a scout vehicle whose job it was to just be piloted around the local area, right? To be piloted around the moon and Earth. You wouldn't need to put big booster rockets on it. You could build a vehicle that was designed to work in zero gravity, to work in a vacuum, right? And he wouldn't have to strap it to a giant rocket. So that would limber up our ability to move around our local area, which is the next step, right? A permanent moon base would be the next logical step towards Mars, right? Because if you establish a permanent colony there, you can expand that manufacturing capacity massively, right? Having a 0G, or functionally not 0G, but like the gravity of the moon and the fact that it lacks an atmosphere make it, all you have to do is just kind of push off strongly from the surface of it and you're out in space, right? You don't have to burn fucking 10,000 tons of fuel to get out of it. So being able to build things there and just float them up, that's the next step. And then I think a lot of people think we're just gonna hop, skip, jump over to Mars. Like Elon's just gonna send a SpaceX crew over there. They're gonna build a city on Mars, and that's gonna be. It's like you're skipping about 8 huge steps.
What he's demonstrated so far with SpaceX is more efficient ways of doing what we've always been doing.
Which are needed.
Yeah.
Because in order to do the things I'm talking about, we're gonna have to get a lot of materials up to space. So those reusable rocket boosters are gonna be huge in the future. I don't care who the fuck you are. Those things are gonna be going up 5-6 times a day if we start some sort of project like a moon base or a big satellite.
Think of how long it took to get from where we were to just a reusable rocket.
Right. I mean, that reusable rocket probably would have happened in the 70s.
If we gave a fuck.
If we gave a fuck. And then we would have functionally replaced the need for it mostly because the shit was already up there now. I mean, like, there are raw materials in our, like, that are available in the local area of Earth and the moon that could functionally replace most of our need to supply a functional moon base or star base with earthly materials. Food, yeah, you know, but like even that, you have access to the sun directly. You can create giant floating greenhouses. You know what I mean? Like that has to happen before we can get to Mars. All of that technology has to exist so that we can put it on Mars. And everybody's just like, you guys are like 3-4 steps ahead thinking about a Mars base. It just ain't gonna happen. A human being won't even go to Mars for 20 years at this level of technological advancement. Will advanced AI create a super battery? Yeah, battery technology is one of the things that's being functionally worked on right now, right? And look at how much it has grown just in the last 20 years, right? It's gone from like batteries being these huge room filling things to being able to take a huge battery but have it power a huge car. You know, that is going to continue to happen. The only thing that gets us to Mars in 10, 15, 20 years, right, is the singularity. If we can create a machine that is, you know, indistinguishable from a god, and it is able to work on itself, it's a self-improving machine, right? It can build its own infrastructure and expand what it needs to do in order to do the types of then it could give us this massive, like, it's like pedal to the metal on our technological expansion. But that has to happen first. We can't say that's, I don't know how far away that is. 10 years, 20 years more of AI fiddling, a few resource wars under our belt, massive reduction in the population as a result of those. That's what I kind of see. What about gravity, though? I mean, it's something that we're going to have to figure out if we want human beings to. So, like, there are two ways of thinking on this, in my mind. We either need to adapt, we need to functionally learn how to create false gravity, or we need to work on the human genome and adapt the human body for weightlessness. Either of those could work, maybe both. Imagine a power source that's vastly superior to lithium. I heard graphene, you know, the stuff in pencils might create a super battery. Yeah. I don't know, man. That sort of technology is going to unlock these kind of leaps forward in our technological complexity, which is going to allow us to do some of the things I was talking about. But we're here, and we need to be here, right? We're down here, and we need to be here. There needs to be a bridge here. And that bridge is constant investment. Constant investment. Getting a 2B tattoo? Oh boy. Look out, we got ourselves a goonin' nerd over here. Now that's cool, dude. Imagine a power source. Oh yeah, I already read that one. Reminds me of discovering the Americas for Britain. Well, I mean, you can look at it that way, right? It's kind of like the frontier. We all need to transition off fossil fuels too. Large-scale nuclear green tech would be a revelation. Producing energy with nuclear could be easier. I don't trust nuclear. Maybe I get called a boomer about it all the time, but I just don't understand the argument. It's like you look at nuclear disasters. People go like, yeah, dude, modern nuke plants can't melt down. You go like, what about Fukushima? Oh, that was a tidal wave, bro. And it's like, yeah, those happen. So what about Fukushima? Well, yeah, you know. What about 3 Mile Island? You know, I'm not trying to engage in whataboutism here, but when you're talking about making 16 miles of fucking land functionally uninhabitable for 200 years, I think you really need to get to the bottom of like, are human beings and with human error and human negligence, are we capable of monitoring such things safely long term? And the answer to that, looking at those disasters, is no, right? There have been a number of nuclear disasters, some of them completely and utterly unknown, right? There was a nuclear disaster somewhere in, I believe it was in Ukraine, where this huge, like, puff of nuclear material was shot up into the atmosphere and tracked by other countries, and Russia, like, denied its existence for a long time until they finally admitted that there was some sort of coolant leak, and that caused them to have to vent a bunch of fucking dirty water. And it's just like, it's constantly happening. And we're not talking about Chernobyl. This was a smaller scale nuclear accident. You know what I mean? And so I have a hard time when people go like, yeah, build more nuke plants, bro. And it's just like, you want to, it's just like, yeah, they can't fail that way anymore. That's what they said about the Chernobyl reactor. The reaction, I mean, it's in that fucking HBO miniseries. The reaction of the upper division guys was RCMB nuclear reactors don't explode. It's functionally impossible, right? When the disaster happened and the initial reports from the area got to the, like, chairman of the local shit, his reaction was RCMB nuclear reactors cannot explode. It is a functional impossibility for them to do so. Right? So they said it then, and one of them exploded. They say it now, and one of them exploded. So how are you making any kind of an argument for the safety of nuclear? What do you think the excuse will be when the next one inevitably happens? The same as it always is. I mean, Fukushima wasn't that long ago. You can just point at it and go like, what about Fukushima, dude? Super modern, super efficient, super clean Japanese nuke facility gets hit by a tsunami. And because of human stupidity, all of the backup diesel generators are on the ground floor, right on the coast. Right? This is what I'm talking about. The diesel generators get swamped. The core of Fukushima goes into meltdown, and they start venting fucking nuclear water into the ocean. Nice. Brand spanking new, top of the line, can't melt down, foolproof Japanese nuke reactor. And Mother Nature goes, hold my beer. So I don't want one of those near me. I tell you what, bro. How about you believers get a whole state somewhere in the Midwest, right? And you guys just go like, a nuke plant in every fucking town, bro. You guys supply us all, man. You true believers. We'll give you Kansas. You can have Kansas. All right? You can build as many nuke plants as you want right there in Kansas. You wouldn't do it. Guaranteed you wouldn't do it. All of these nuke evangelists wouldn't move to that place. They wouldn't want to be living near 5 or 6 of them motherfuckers. No thanks. But they want to put one in your backyard, though. They want you to accept it. It's like, fuck you. Eat a fat dick. Then would you move to Nuketopia, where there's a big giant nuclear reactor in every little town in Kansas? You'd love to live there? Oh, I hope you get to move there then. I hope you get to move there. And I hope you're the first one to get irradiated when some motherfucker falls asleep and spills coffee on his console. I hope you're the first motherfucker to get dosed out. Reaching up and handfuls of fucking hair coming out of your head and shit. And then you'll be crying, why do we do this? Why have we done this? Why? What do you think is the best energy source? There's this crazy thing. I don't know if you know this. Hanging right in space near us is a giant, functionally eternal nuclear reactor. Did you know that? Hanging right in space. It's the reason you can see me right now. It's right up there. It's providing light. Yeah. It's wild. I know, it's wild, guys. It's wild. But whatever. Yeah, build a big nuke. Build a big nuke plant in your backyard and cross your fingers and hope a storm doesn't come, an earthquake doesn't happen, some geological event doesn't happen and blows it up in your face. You take the risk. You reap the fucking whirlwind. How old are you? I'm 44. Not possible to harness, Paul. Okay. Except we threw, you know, fucking retarded. Cars are way more dangerous, but you get behind the wheel. Cars are way more dangerous, but you get behind the wheel. Go tell that to fucking the town of Pripyat. Why don't you go stand in the town of Pripyat with no protection and sing, cars are still more dangerous, but you get behind the wheel. Cars are still more dangerous, but you get behind the wheel. Say what? I'm sitting in a classroom that used to be filled with kids. Now it's a desert filled with the remnants of shit. Cars are still dangerous, but you still drive them cars. You know what I mean? You fucking idiot, dude. You're not even comparing apples to oranges. You're comparing apples to blue whales. Yeah, there's a common ancestor, and that's about it. And there's so many little peepers. Do you hear them this morning? I can see them jumping around in this tree right here.
Yeah.
They're just like a whole flock of them in there right now.
I got you some coffee.
Oh, thank you, baby doll. Coffee.
I gave Niner his brekkie too, but he was being lazy about it. And Cricket went in for a bite. Like, what are you going to do, Niner?
Yeah.
To help him chase off his brother.
Lingbe Rue Cafe.
That'd be like 2 cups of coffee.
What's one?
E.
eBay.
Yeah.
eBay? No, not eBay, dude. Yeah, eBay. eBay Le Cafe. Well, che for my coffee, baby.
Bukuchi.
Bukuchi. You don't see warning signs to roll up your windows for the next 100 kilometers after a car wreck. Yeah, tell that to everybody, though. Tell that to, like, these nuke people, dude. That's why I said, dude, I would be willing, let's find an island. Let's send all these nuclear advocates to live on Nuke Island. And let's just cover that island in nuclear reactors and tract houses. Everybody that lives on the island can work in the nuke facilities, and they can be responsible for making sure none of them melt down. And let's see what happens. I doubt a single one of these advocates would want to live in a situation like that. but they're okay advocating putting one in your fucking town. They're okay advocating loading up your state with it, right? They're fine. They're willing to risk. They're willing to risk 100 kilometers of no-go zone. They're willing to risk 200 years of inaccessibility to a fucking wide region. Yeah. They're willing to go and stand in Chernobyl and tell you that cars are more dangerous than nuke plants, but you still drive them. You know what I mean? It's just like, when was the last car crash that obliterated an entire fucking region and destroyed a city? People still live in the exclusion zone. They have lived to old age. Get your ass over there then. Get your ass over. Why don't you go claim a nice apartment in Pripyat? What are you doing being a wage cuck? Go live the high life in Pripyat.
It's called survivorship bias. Oh,
Yep.
something didn't happen to this person
Yep.
that got exposed.
Yeah, so no, there's no problem then. Never mind the fact that you step within fucking 50 kilometers of Chernobyl and the Geiger counter goes, yeah, that's cool, bro.
Yeah, it's
No, it's cool. Go chill over there.
radiation is a little unpredictable. It's like it causes cancer by like literally mutating your DNA and shit.
Right.
So like that's not gonna be like a 1-to-1 ratio of radiation equals cancer.
People are just fucking retarded.
The same thing with smoking. Like, was smoking not bad because I know a smoker that lived a long time?
Mm-hmm. They were all exposed, still all exposed. But as long as they're not eating the soil daily, they're fine. Do you have any idea what people eat? What do you think you eat, bro? What do you think you're eating? Soil. You're talking about a farming community living in an area that had fucking kilotons of nuclear material blown all over it. There are documented massive mutations in the local wildlife. Every piece of wildlife that they pull out of there is either mutated or fucking irradiated beyond. Go claim an apartment in Pripyat if you believe it's safe to live there. Go get it. Otherwise, shut your fucking hole. There's a reason there's an exclusion zone around it. Fuckwit.
Yeah, do you think that Russia wouldn't claim victory over, like, decontaminating it?
Yeah, dude. If it was safe, you don't think Russia would just move a bunch of people in there and be like, look, Mother Russia has cleaned. You're such a dumb fuck. Get your ass over there and lick the windows in fucking Pripyat, bitch.
Yeah, that would be like the biggest success story they'd have. Like, look,
Yeah.
we know how to.
Why have they not moved people back in there? Answer me that. I want that question from you. Cthulhu, you're in the eye of fucking Sauron now. Why has Russia not, or Ukraine, not repopulated the area of Chernobyl? Why is Pripyat still a ghost town? Why is the reactor still in a giant sarcophagus? Why is there an exclusion zone around it? Let's go. And if you'd rather do this over fucking Discord, let me know. Because I'll go grab my other phone real quick. Because I don't want you crying. I want to hear you. Still doing cleanup. Why would they still be doing cleanup for something that happened 80 fucking years ago, bro?
Well, it's supposedly safe now. Like, is it okay now, or does it still need to be cleaned up?
So it's safe, but they're still cleaning it. What's the holdup, bud?
If it's so safe, then shouldn't they have more people cleaning it up faster?
They have to dismantle the plant. Oh, how's that going? Why do they have to do that if it's safe? It's in a sarcophagus. It's contained. You yourself said that, like, the fucking radiation levels at the core are relatively safe. So why do they need to dismantle the plant? Can't they just leave it there? It's enormous and at risk of collapsing. Oh, well, what if it collapses? It's safe. You could stand right in the core and the radiation levels are tiny. Right? Right? Are you with me? Come on. The confinement will contain the collapse if it happens. That's what it was designed for. Cool. So why haven't they moved people back into Pripyat then? What's the cleanup? You know, Pripyat's across the fucking water from the nuke reactor. It's not right there. They could tear. Why don't they move people into Pripyat and make that the first big social project of the new town? What is the hold up?
Watch them say, well, there's a war going on right now.
There's a war. Just fucking just constant talking out both sides of your fucking mouth. Where you at, homie? Where you at? Man, those peepers are so nice today.
Mm-hmm. They're having a whole meeting up there.
Yeah, it's like the peepers senate.
Yeah.
Reach out to Thunderfoot? I don't need to. Thunderfoot wouldn't have an answer to this question either.
Like, has Thunderfoot said it's fine, everyone should move back to Pripyat?
Yeah. I don't think, if he has, I'd love to hear it.
He'd have a clickbait thumbnail of
Yeah.
that pretty prominent if that's what he said.
I feel like he's got the money to and the acumen. Like, why doesn't he lead the charge?
Yeah.
Go lick the windows in Pripyat. In order to prove that it's absolutely safe, I've decided to set up shop here in an old apartment building in Pripyat. Okay? Let's monitor things. Let's see how you do. You be the canary in the coal mine. Yes? Yeah. Appeal to authority immediately.
Not even like a very significant authority
Nope,
either.
just Thunderfoot, another fucking online idiot. Yeah. So what you've got is, nuh-uh, appeal to authority. Do you feel dumb yet, or are you feeling like you're winning this? I really want to know at this point. You feel like you're doing a good job here, or do you feel dumb? Nuh-uh, because, and you should watch Thunderfoot. Real good showing here, bruh. You do a real credit to this fucking argument. You really do, man. You're wiling out in here. I've never been so defeated. I just hate this conversation because it's how it goes every time, bro. Every fucking time. None of these people are willing to admit that these exclusion zones exist because it is unhealthy levels of radiation for human beings to exist there. And that there's probably not a lot we can do to make that any different for the next 150 years. It doesn't matter, Phoebes. That's the appeal to authority is going like, this guy made a video. It's just like, it's like going like, well, I don't really know anything, but this guy does. It's the laziest way to defer in an argument. It doesn't matter. I don't care if Thunderfoot designs nuclear reactors for a living. You don't appeal to authority in an argument between two lay people. Then move your ass over there. Move your ass. You know what, dude? You could make a fucking... Here, I got an idea for you, Cthulhu. Get your hands on some radioactive material. Spread it around your house. Live out somewhere away from people. You got to make sure you're safe with your experiment. Start a TikTok called Nuclear Chernobyl Guy. And here's what you do. You say, hey, my name's Cthulhu, and I've acquired a bunch of nuclear material, and I leave it laying around in my house so that the Geiger counter reading is the same as it is in Pripyat. And I'm gonna just chill, and this is my channel. Show us, bro. You'd make $1 million. I'll watch you. I'll create a TikTok to subscribe to you. Already have radioactive material? Cool. Throw it all over your house and show me that Geiger counter reading. Right?
And there's a difference between a level they think is safe to visit and a safe enough to live there.
Right. No. You go and put it up there. Get that Geiger counter level up there, and you live in that apartment. You could be Mary Curie number 2. That bitch's corpse is still glowing. Mary Curie 2, Electric Boogaloo. Go do it, buddy. I don't care what your background is right now. I care what it is once you've spread enough nuclear fucking waste around your living area to raise it to Chernobyl levels. To raise it to the background radiation in Pripyat. And I want you to live in it. Cthulhu is just trolling for rage. I know. That's what a lot of the nuke people are, because they don't have a serious argument. So they just rage bait. But he baited the right motherfucker today. Because I'm here for it.
Well, like, the radiation level of, like, CT scans and stuff, like, it's a balance. They don't want you to CT scan yourself every week.
No.
They want you to limit it to when it's necessary.
They look and see how many x-rays you've had in the last fucking year before they fucking throw you in a giant thing.
Yeah, it's like there's a difference. Like, you get one x-ray at a dentist every 5 years, and the dentist wears the giant lead thing, so
Yep.
they're not doing it 50 times a day.
Yep. Heard of the nuclear test done by the U.S. in the Bikini Atoll Islands, leading to the natives getting cancer from radiation. Oh yeah, they completely and utterly destroyed the Bikini Atoll and the natives there. They did them dirty. They lied to them, just like this dude is lying to you, and told them, oh, the radiation is dispersed. You don't have to worry about it. Everything's fine. And that whole community of people died of cancer, heart disease, lung disease, all of these and all of them have way above the recommended radiation level for background radiation. And nobody talks about it, you know what I mean? Because it undermines this cultish, like, idea that nuclear is going to unlock some fucking superpower for humanity. And it's like, at what fucking cost every time is what you have to ask. And we know the cost. It's not even theoretical anymore. We know the cost of nuclear energy and nuclear hubris. We know the cost of us trying to harness that element and create that kind of reaction here on the planet. The cost is exclusion zones. The cost is giant nuclear meltdowns that make towns uninhabitable and dump tons of waste into the atmosphere and the ocean. That's what we know for an absolute fact. It's incontrovertible. When you put a bunch of nuclear waste into the fucking atmosphere, bad shit happens to the animals, the plants, and the people that live in that fucking shadow. Right? That's what we know for a fucking fact. Period.
I mean, if anything, we probably are underestimating nuclear. Because think of how many things we've learned cause cancer in the past 20 years.
Right.
Like, we haven't even figured out what microplastics do to us yet.
Right. It's nuts. People are wild, dude. Heard of the Radium Girl? Yes, I've heard of the Radium Girls. I've heard of humanity's hubris with nuclear elements is a long and storied tradition. And it continues to this day. There are still these fucking idiots that argue that we have somehow functionally eliminated human error from the equation and we've created something that is perfect. It's almost like godlike thinking. Maybe in the future, something like that could be harnessed by an advanced AI that doesn't have a girlfriend and a wife, trying to juggle that, didn't get no sleep last night, took too much coffee, has indigestion, and is farty.
Profit incentive.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Like,
right.
If you have a profit incentive, you're going to want to cut costs.
Right. Well, you've just heard this dude in here that I've been arguing with completely and utterly undermining the dangers of radiation. And it's fucking retarded. Normal background radiation is 2.5. Pripyat is 8.67. It's really not... Okay. Cool.
It adds up.
Bring your local environment up to 8.67 and live in it. And do a TikTok. Call yourself Woody the Nuke. Glowing Woody. It's just like you keep going, it's not dangerous at all. Why would the Ukrainian government keep an exclusion zone around it then? It's huge area. Why would they not move people back there?
People being allowed to visit isn't the same thing.
Yeah, no, it isn't. You getting one x-ray is not the same of getting one x-ray every 10 minutes for the rest of your life. You get it? You get it? That leopard is going to eat my face? No. You just do it, man. Be the modern day Mary Curie. Raise your MSV, your millisieverts per fucking whatever, up to 8.67, right? To match Pripyat, and you just live in it. Start a TikTok and let people watch what happens. Let's do it. Less mouth, more show. Go live in Pripyat. Go do it. It'd be great content. Go live there for 6 months. Can you steel man Thunderfoot's position? I can't. I don't know what it is. I don't watch Thunderfoot. I don't get my information from internet vlogs on this. I just kind of look at history, right? Did people in the past think radioactive material was magical just because it was shiny? I think. Probably, yeah. I mean, it wasn't even that far in the past that the radium girls existed. Look, they glow. You know, it's like, fuck. I've worked in resource extraction and exploration in one of the most naturally irradiated places in the world. I don't need to up my exposure. It's already way higher. Oh, neat. That doesn't make me want to see you raise that MSV up to 8.67 and live in it any less, bro. Watch this, bro. I'm a doctor who studies radiation for a fucking living. And let me tell you, what you just said is complete bunko bullshit. Now what? You should talk to Thunderfoot about this, bro. No.
You have no interest in Thunderfoot.
I don't like Thunderfoot. I never have. I have no interest in what he thinks about things. I don't have no interest in his content. I haven't thought about or watched him in years. You go watch Thunderfoot, okay? I don't need to. I know what I think about this topic, and I think the basis of it is really strong.
Like, do you think that sounds any better than, like, you should debate Vosh about electoralism for the 8th time?
No. It's the same shit. All right, sorry, calm down. Get him out. Don't ever tell me to fucking calm down in my backyard, bro. Your disrespectful mouth gets slapped. Get him out. Out by his ass. Don't talk to me. You show me the respect you would show me if you were sitting right here in my backyard.
Why are you so protective over your eye boogies?
He loves them. He's farming them eye boogies.
Can you let me get them?
Like maybe if there was a treat being offered, I would let you get them.
I just gotta get the little whites and the little comb. Seems to be the only way to let me get them.
Cthulhu is trolling. Here's the thing, and I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again now. I have a different philosophy on trolls than a lot of people do. Having been a troll my whole life, trolls oftentimes present an argument in a way that other people wouldn't feel comfortable doing, but passively agree with. I guarantee you that even though he's trolling, there are some people watching right now that are in the same camp as that Cthulhu is trollishly representing in your mind. And they have heard these arguments, they've heard these angles, they've heard the appeal to Thunderfoot authority before, and it's worked on them, right? And so my engagement with this guy, even if his intentions are to waste my time, is still a functional benefit, right? Because there are people that believe the things he's saying. There are people that are convinced by those types of arguments. Paul really hates Thunderfoot. I don't. I don't hate Thunderfoot. I just don't think about Thunderfoot. I don't consider him. I don't like his content. I never have. I'm glad that he's no longer a part of what I talk about, right? Don't mistake indifference for hate, right? I didn't invoke Thunderfoot. The idiot I was arguing with invoked Thunderfoot. Would you at least be interested in getting a nuclear scientist on the show to discuss these topics? As long as there's like a counter, like we get two contrary experts, I would be interested in that, because I'm not going to be able to go toe to toe with a nuclear scientist, right, on this topic, and have it be any good representation of like people that are more cautious about nuclear expansion, right? So let me get an expert on the other side. Let me get a scientist who philosophically opposes the expansion of nuclear energy, and let me let those two guys go at it on the show. I'd be interested in that.
What's this?
A study with 300,000 workers in the nuclear industry suggests an increased risk of death from cancer. The analysis shows that prolonged exposure to low doses of radiation can be just as harmful as the same amount received all at once. Uh-oh. But.
Mortality rate from solid tumors increased by 52% at 10 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ. These topics. Some of these topics are just so crazy making to talk about. You gotta be quite close to your chest. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, the next time somebody goes like, well, what kind of energy do you think we should use, Paul? I should just go, boop, boop. What strain is this? This is Wiz Khalifa's strain, Khalifa Kush, which I've never had before. I've got a bunch of it now, and it is a really nice smoke, dude. I wish we had that in Colorado. It's sad that you guys don't. I've got more of it than I can smoke right now, dude. I could have like a 3-day smoke sesh with all the homies and still have a bunch left right now, bro. Did you mix anything with it, or you just take it pure? No. We don't do that fucking spliff shit down here, bro. You never have a day when you ran out of weed? No. No. Not a fucking chance. Let's not. I know, dude. It's like dong dong dong. It's like I just got done telling you I could smoke you and your whole squad out for a week and still have fucking enough for me for another month in my stash. And you're asking me if I run out of weed. No. Who decides the schedule a drug should be, and based on what is it? I have no fucking clue, bro. You got me on that. The regulatory agencies that decide what schedule a drug is and all that. I don't know how that fucking functions, to be quite frank with you. DEA and the FDA, I would imagine, involved, right? Amnesia haze. I don't want to do the strain thing, bro. These whack ass strains. Some of these names, dude. Purple Bubblicious, grape, fucking meat drape, necromancer, Whoopi Goldberg, Bush, Kush. I don't need it, bro. Can I just have weed, please? Thank you. I miss the old school strains, bro. Like, I like a Blue Dream. I like a Platinum Bubba or a Bubba Kush. I like a Durban Poison. White Widow. Can't get that shit no more, man. Nobody got it. Nobody got that shit no more. Yeah, Granddaddy Per GDP is like a mother strain for indica. A lot of your indicas are going to be derivations of GDP somewhere down the line. Ooh. Yeah, Durban Poison is really good. I got my hands on some Durban Poison back in like 2015 when I was on DP living in Seattle. And super amazing genetics on that strain. Like, just a totally like memorable smoke amongst a lot of samey shit. Paul, if you would consume THC in space, would you get extra high or the same? I don't know, bro. I'll test it. Get Cody Weedman out of here, bro. Get him out. He sucks. Does the blood circulate faster in space? I don't know, man. You're holding me. I'm not an astrophysicist. I have no fucking clue. I'd be willing to check it out, though. You know, I'll be the canary. I'll go up there and see. I'll get space cadet high, literally. You know. Excuse me. What up, Polsky? What up, Julian Bichereau? You crazy motherfucker. Why was Cody banned? Get Nick out of here, too. Why does he care if Cody was banned? Thanks for the subs, both of you, by the way. Paul, why do Republicans in Alaska get Alaska Dividend Fund, which is a socialist program started by a socialist, but any other similar program they don't like? Well, everybody hates, you know, all these Republicans hate socialism until they directly benefit from it, and then they like it and defend it to the death. They love publicly funded police officers. That's a great example, right? They love publicly funded streets. They love publicly funded initiatives and publicly funded schools. The depths of their depravity know no end, of course. When they directly benefit from it, they'll protect it with their fucking lives. But if it indirectly benefits them, or it doesn't directly benefit them, it benefits some other population of people that are under the same, you know, American flag, that's when they have a problem with it, right? It's just rank selfishness. Oh, Hazy D. Hazy D. Tynor's got these big giant eyes that are usually blown wide open, but he gets comfy and he gets like real hazy. Isn't that right, D? You come here for a minute. Come on. Come here. You come all the way up. Oh, that's a good jump. Oh, let the people see how handsome and wonderful you are. Yeah, that's a good boy. These people, they just need to see how handsome and beautiful you are. Yeah. Don't hide your cute little teddy bear face. Let these people see how cute you are. How sweet you are. Oh, yeah. You're just squishy tea. You're squishy, squashy tea. Such a bloopable snoot. I know. I know. You just want to boop his little snoot all day. Are Democrats preparing the excuses why they lost already? Yes. Yes. Did you hear Trump and Kamala might do Rogan? Bro, I kind of want that to happen just for the shit show that it's going to be. I can't even imagine either of them doing well in that environment. So, we'll see. I'm kind of more interested to see if Joe Rogan brings the same energy about Kamala that he does, and if he glazes Trump as hard as he does. I'm kind of more interested to see how Joe handles it than the fucking candidates. Bro, Andrew, that fucking Howard interview was heartbreaking, bro. It's not even Howard anymore. And he's not even in the room with these people. It's so weird the way he's got, because like he's not actually in the room with her. She's sitting there in a set that's made to look like the other half of that room, and they do a composite shot. So it's like he's not even in the room with them anymore. They're looking at a monitor. He's looking at a monitor. He's in the basement of his Hamptons home, and they're in some fucking studio at the fucking Sirius building. It's awful, dude. It's fucking unbelievable. He's not even recognizable as the same fucking human being anymore. I get it. Like, okay, people change, and maybe he's just had a radical fucking shift in his way of thinking. But if that's the case, then it's just like unwatchable. Have you heard Elon is giving 1 million to people in Penn who votes for Trump? I don't think that's the cover of it, right? I think I read a story about it. I don't know. We'll probably cover it tomorrow, I would imagine. But the story that I read, it was like 1 million people who signed this like defense pack. I can't remember what it is. They signed some pledge pack or whatever the fuck. I can't remember. It basically is a roundabout way of paying people $1 million. It's a random $1 million to some random person in the state of Pennsylvania or whatever who signs this or that. I don't think it's like they wouldn't let him directly pay them for their vote. How are people not offended when a rich guy like Trump cosplays as a McDonald's worker for a day? Because there's no cover. You can't take cover because other politicians have done similar things. Like this idea of, I think Obama did it. You'd have to fact check me on this, but I'm 99% sure that Obama did a, hello, what can I get you on that? Working on the Big Mac, working on the chicken nuggets, working on the, you know what I mean? It's just like it's like the shirt sleeves. You guys know what the shirt sleeves are? Where depending on how you want to couch your argument, your shirt sleeves are up or down, right? As a man, obviously, I guess girls probably have different rules for this. But as a male politician, if you're out talking to business people, you're in your suit and your tie. But if you're out talking to Americans, you got your jacket off and you roll up your shirt sleeve, just like that. And that lets them know that you're a working person. You gotta get your hands dirty. You're out there getting your hands dirty. You see what I mean? See how fucking fake it all is, bro? It's like that. It's why it's like it's. You know what it is, bro? I've been thinking about this football analogy, and I don't think it's correct. It's been gnawing on me, right? Like, why doesn't football politics feel right? Because it isn't. Dude, it's the WWE. It's wrestling. It's sports entertainment politics. That's the fucking shit that was missing. Because football, say what you want about it, there's an actual element of randomness and skill to the game. It's scripted as fuck. It's the WWE. That's what it's wrestling politics. John Cena's the best guy. No, Batista's the best guy. It's like, fuck. How did I not see it? Actually, my dude, I think it is empirically evident that you cannot see John Cena. And, I've still yet to hear a refutation on that, my guy. I think that, John Cena is clearly like the best wrestler, and I don't even know what you're talking about. It's all the WWE, bro. No. It's all Fabe. It's all Fabe. It's always been Fabe. I'm that fucking astronaut on the moon. You mean it's all kayfabe? And then you're behind me with the pistol saying, always was, friend. Always was. Oh, man. It's Fabe. It's all Fabe. Every bit of it is fucking kayfabe. It's all a big fucking wrestling match. They just ripped off fucking Vince McMahon, bro. They ripped off Vince. They're like, wait a minute. This guy makes people believe that, like, an Iranian sheik is fighting an American army sergeant in the ring, and that's going to have a geopolitical impact. Why aren't we doing this? Oh my God. It's Fabe. So ready for this carnival show to be over. No, dude. It won't. It's never over now, though. Dude, the next electoral cycle begins the day that the fucking next president is inaugurated, bro. And you don't ever get a break, bro. It'll be eyes on 2028. Do. It's never over, bro. It's never over. What will the Middle East oil tycoons do when their oil eventually dries up? Float away on a raft made of fucking $100 bills? I don't know. What will they do? You know how rich these motherfuckers are, bro? You have any fucking clue? The level of wealth we're talking about here? We're talking about trillionaires, bro. Legitimate trillionaires. Kane Fabe. Dude, I miss Kane Fabe, bro. Bring back Kane Fabe 2024. I will tell you that I am kind of excited for the upcoming election show because the sweat index, right? I'm super stoked about the sweat index. I really am. I want to see where the sweat index leads us because, dude, I follow Chank on Twitter, and Chank is so sweaty right now, bro. He is like, he doesn't know where to do. He doesn't know what to do. He's almost, you remember the mode he went into, right? When it was apparent that Hillary was losing. He was like, we're at war with the Democratic Party. These fucking more, that's it. That's it. This really is rebel headquarters because we're at war with the Democratic Party now. How do you lose? You know what I mean? He's almost there already, which I think is a huge bellwether on this election, by the way. He's almost there already, but he's still trying to go like, yeah, vote for Kamala, but God damn it, these Democrats have got to stop killing babies in Beirut. You know, and it's like, but vote for Kamala. I mean, yeah, you know, but the goddamn fucking Democrats. You know, he's already there, dude. He's like the brown buffalo. Dude, steam. Cenk is such a clown. He can't debate with logic. Oh, dude, I love him for that, though, bro. I love him with that. Dude, you can't really like me and hate clowns that can't debate with logic, right? you can't really love me and hate those people. I mean, I love that. I love that about Cenk. Cenk will go and blow up at a motherfucker, dude. He'll just go on somebody's show and everybody will be all straight-laced and they'll be like, Cenk, what do you think about that? And he'll be like, fuck you! You know, I like that about him. You know, he's got a little bit of fucking, got a bug up his ass. I like him. I like him for that. I don't necessarily like his political, you know, leanings and proclivities. But because he's one of these dudes that just keeps coming back to the poison trough of the DNC over and over and over again. You know, and it's just like he's really feeling it. So the sweat index is going to be on full display on election night. We're going to be checking in routinely, and I'm going to have one of my monitors is literally going to be Cenk on election night. Like, no shit, it'll be 100% live streaming the Young Turks all the way through election night, because you know Cenk and Anna are going to be sitting there all night. We're going to be monitoring the sweat index. And I'm telling you, dude, the sweat index has been a predictor of the last two elections. People fucking don't. Like, look, dude, Uyghurology was born because of 2016, okay? I became the world's first Uyghurologist because of that video of the 2016 election night meltdown of the Young Turks, when they were all smug going in because everybody thought it was a 90% Hillary lock, right? And that 10% probability expressed itself, and they all went to fucking shit, right? They all went crazy. And that night, Cenk was sweating, just blah. And he's done a lot of things to try and hide from my Uyghurology. He's done a lot of things. Cenk will take these little commercial breaks and shit. We'll be back right after this. And then he'll change his shirt. He's got a whole wardrobe of the same colored shirt so he doesn't get the rings. And he dabs, too. We've seen the sweat towel. Remember when he threw in the towel? We saw the sweat towel. For a long time amongst Uyghurologists, the sweat towel was only theorized because, you know, Cenk, he does more of a like a professional news style. And so so he doesn't like, I got to go to the bathroom and just like get up and go shit and come back, right? Like I do. He'll be like, we'll be back right after this. And when he does that, they're like fucking army of makeup people and dabbers come in, right? But the thing is, he has to stay live for long stretches. And it's towards the end of that stretch that we Uyghurologists take our humidity rating. We count beads. We see if there's any runoff or dripping. We look at the scalp and see if the hair is wet here near the scalp, right? The whole thing. I have the whole thing, dude, on lock. And it has predicted the last 2 elections, dude. 2016, looking at it in retrospect, the sweat index clearly showed a Donald Trump victory early. 2020, Uyghurology was in its full blossom, and we used the sweat index, and sure enough, he was dabbing for a little bit, but the sweat was very mild in 2020. The sweat was mild in 2020, and sure enough, old Grandpa Joe walks in with it, right? So this year, we're going to be looking at the drips and the dabs on Deep Fat Fried for election night. And for me, it's the most important indicator. Look, Scotty is really good at cutting down the numbers and exit polls and stuff like that. TJ is really good at like the map permutations and shit. Well, here's something nobody's thinking about. Here's a path to victory for this or a path to loss for that. My entire focus this year and beyond is as a Uyghurologist. As long as Cenk Uyghur is available, I don't think I need any other bellwether. The amount of droplets and driplets, runnels of sweat, the amount of shirt changes will be tracked, the amount of commercial breaks for dabs. Okay? All of this is tracked and feeds in what I call the sweat index. The Uyghur sweat index. So, people make fun, but it's as scientific a fucking thing as a poll. It's got 2 successful predictions, and I feel like we're going to get a 3rd successful prediction this year, one way or the other. But that might be just my Uyghurologist's confirmation bias kicking in. Does Destiny get emotional like Cenk when debating? No. I think maybe like he was more prone to he's more prone to that in more personal like debates. But when Destiny's out doing like the debate circuit and stuff, he's usually pretty composed. He doesn't have like what I would call like freakouts and stuff. I think he understands the optics of that pretty fucking well. Man, I just don't want to fucking interrupt the weird cope stroke that's going on Destiny stream. But, assuming I keep my perms over there after the election, I want to pop in and let him know that, like, I took some notes on that debate. I managed to get through the entirety of it, watching it. And I took notes on about the first 3 hours of the 5-hour debate. And I think we could have there's a basis for discussion about what he pulled me in on, but I don't even think he cares about it. I don't even think he remembers about that shit now. It was very important to him in the moment for him to chastise me for saying that he got sauced on in that debate. And, it took me a long time to get through it. And I find his content like super repellent. As the closer we get to the election, the more fucking repellent it gets to me. It just gets more and more like I don't know. There's like a hard-headedness to it. So, you know, not to shit on the guy, but, you know, I just don't want to fucking jump in and bring my energy to that. It's always going to be it's always going to be negative, right? Like maybe there's a chance to have a more round discussion with him after the kind of like fever of this fucking electoral cycle breaks and everybody just accepts whatever happens, right? But I'd be hesitant to talk to fucking anybody right now, dude. This fucking electoral cycle is going to be wild, guys. Do you guys have any idea how... Okay, so let me throw something out there. Have you guys seen Trump standing around for like 15, 16 minutes at his rallies and shit? This happened like last week, and then it just happened again, where the dude stood there while songs were playing, and he's just like... Have you seen that? So, and then he's canceled a lot of appearances and shit recently, right? Do you think that like a brain bubble popped or something? You know what I'm saying? Like he got a, and it was like, and they were like, oh shit, he's glitching. He's 80, guys. And he's fat as the moon. Think about that, bro. Bro, I'm fat and I'm 44 and I'm almost dead. With all the stress he's under behind the scenes, very possible, yes. That's what I'm saying. I think this dude might be fucking gone, and this might be a presidency where Trump squeaks it out, and then it's JD Vance. Trump squeaks it out, and then it just becomes apparent Trump is fucking on Fritz, and he steps aside or gets removed, and it's JD Vance. President Vance. What do you think? Vanilla Vance. Ice, ice, baby. Trump will audibly shit during the next State of the Union. Repeat. There's a lot of people, a lot. Ooh, ee, ooh, ee, ooh, ee. There's a lot of people. Yeah, I'm dropping them flies, D. Now you know what Dad's doing. You made the connection, huh? Yeah. Dropping them flies. Cocking that gauge. Oh, yeah, please land over there, bitch. That's like kill zone situation. Kill zone. That's what I thought would happen with Biden. It did. That's why he stepped aside. Biden's a mummy. The fact that he's being allowed to run the country when we saw how busted and broken down he is a fucking miracle. It's like the weirdest shit. He's the president right now. It's the weirdest fucking shit, bro. The dude that can't speak. The dude that after 4 p.m. is non-functional according to his own handlers. That guy is still the president right now. He'll be the president until January. Got him, D. We love it. We love smacking flies here, don't we, D? We do. You snip them, I clip them. God damn, son. Bright ass fucking shit. I thought he'd step down like a week into his presidency. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, dude. I just got ultimate power. Let me step down, Jack. Nobody ever in the history of ever. He was always going to have to be forced out, and eventually he was. A day late and a dollar short. Way too late to have a robust primary that could have landed on somebody that people actually were invigorated to vote for. And just enough to squeak in the unelectable person who primaried exactly nowhere in 2020 because she's just unlikable. Now they're trying to rebrand her as some kind of wise intellectual, and it's not working. Her numbers are flagging going into the election. This is like going to be a huge part of the news that we cover tomorrow, right? Her numbers are considerably dropping. The races are tightening, not widening. They've already called like a couple of states that used to be swing states. They're like, this is way too Trump. So it's like Nevada, I think, is out. It's just Trump. Arizona is out. It's Trump. Now it's all Pennsylvania, basically. Whoever wins Pennsylvania wins the presidency. That's basically what it is right now. And there are still weeks left till the election for these polls to further tighten. So it's alarming. Going into election day, people should be fucking aware that it's about a coin flip, right? Bing. A length of chain, Jack. A length of chain from the pool. They should have never picked Kamala. I think they kind of had to. Because they wanted to keep all that Biden donor money. And the only way they could do that was to run the same ticket. So I think they kind of had to. So, yeah. This election is going to be a fucking shit show, bro. And this is the sad thing about it. I think there's going to be political violence no matter which way things swing. No matter how it ends up. I foresee violence. And that sucks. That's just American, though. Yeah. A rain barrel rusty razor. Used to leave the razors in a rain barrel till they got rusty. Corn Pop was a bad dude, man. He ran with a bad bunch of boys. Bunch of real bad hombres. Sorry. Ooh, excuse me. Fuck flowers, fuck the flowers. They make your daddy sneeze. You wanna go inside? All right, bud. I'm done too. This is too politics shit for me. Gotta go.